everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Herren Project Live. Happy to be back again. And tonight we have some absolutely amazing guests. But before we get to that tonight, I do have a couple of announcements. One, head on over to our social media channels because we have a fantastic youth ambassador board in place for this year. We have been so gratefully and graciously able to have had 2 years back to back for our first youth ambassador board, to have absolutely amazing and dedicated students who are really dedicated and committed to Herren Project's mission and values. And it's really amazing to see so many young students who want to make a difference and want to leverage their individual impact in their communities. We also have our very first executive board where we have about 6 students who were appointed to be on that board. So head on over to our social media channels and check them out. Congratulate them, send them well wishes, all of that good stuff. It's going to be a fantastic year, and I'm so excited to work with them. And again, if you also weren't with us last week, you can also, again, head over to our social media channels to see the sticker design contest winner for Herren Project Clubs 2020. We're not in 2020 anymore. We don't speak of that year. In 2021, 2022. So definitely head on over, follow us, go to our YouTube channel, all of that good stuff, and really like it up. And one thing I also do want to put in a little plug for, because I am the youth engagement specialist, is one, to check out our Purple Couch YouTube series, and two, to sign up for our youth engagement monthly newsletter, where you students, advisors can receive monthly newsletters regarding student opportunities that are available here at Herren Project, or just student activities, whether it's with Herren Project Clubs, the Purple Couch, blogs, what the youth ambassadors are doing, volunteer opportunities, the conference, the full nine. So definitely head on over and check that out and sign up for it. But without further ado, I would like to introduce our first guest tonight. We absolutely love our Herren Project Clubs. So we're bringing on Rose Austin, who is a club advisor in a school from New Jersey.
Hello.
Hi, Rose. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Yeah, would you mind introducing yourself to us?
Yes, I'm happy to be here. My name is Rose, and I teach at Haddon Township High School. As you said, we're a small high school in South Jersey. I've been there about 17 years and teach business classes. And so this is our first year with Herren Project. We just started our Herren Project Club this year. So just a few weeks. This is our second week of school. We were only in school for a few days last week, so we just started.
Oh, awesome. Well, we still love new startup clubs, and we are so here for you guys and so here to support you.
Yes, everyone at Herren Project has been wonderful, very helpful.
Great. I'm so glad to hear that. We do not provide anything less.
Mhm.
We provide the best of the best. But would you like to tell us about maybe how Herren Project Clubs got into your school?
Yeah, it's strange how things work out. Years ago, I would say years ago, I watched the Unguarded documentary that ESPN produced on Chris Herren, and it happened to be right around the same time. I had a brother who suffered with heroin addiction, and right around the time that he passed away, not from an overdose, but from complications from his lifelong struggle with addiction. And when I watched that documentary, it hit very close to home to me, and I found it very inspirational. I think his story is amazing. And so I can't quite remember the year that I saw that documentary, but I know my brother passed away in 2013, so it was a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I started following Chris Herren on social media
Mm-hmm.
and just keeping track of him. And at some point, I spoke with a friend of mine, Maura McDermott. She's also a colleague of mine at Haddon Township High School. And she knew of him as well. And she was also following him on social media. And fast forward a few years, we saw it announced on one of his social media accounts that he was speaking at a local high school not too far from us. And we both went and saw him speak. And of course, we were both blown away. You know, he's a phenomenal speaker. He was very inspirational. And I think we both had it in our minds that we would love to bring him to our high school
Mhm.
someday. And that probably was 4 or 5 years ago. And time goes by and you get busy, and we both are following him on social media, and it's in the back of our minds. But um, sadly, this past April, my nephew overdosed, and I it just popped back in my mind again. About a year or so ago, even before this happened to my nephew, I had been on Herren Project's website. I would go on it occasionally and take a look at it, and I knew that the Project Purple had been phased out, and they started the Herren Project clubs. And I had reached out to our vice principal and to our substance abuse counselor at the time, and I said, this might be a good club to start at the high school, and just kind of left it there and never followed back up on it. And then the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
But then when my nephew passed away, when I came back to work after that, I reached out to my vice principal, Kevin Greway, and I said, we have to start it. We have to
Mhm.
start the club when I come back next September. And he was great. He was in full agreement, and he's been very supportive. And so that's what we did. That's really kind of how we started it. My friend Maura, was all on board with it too. She's been her family has been affected with by addiction as well in her family, and I think like all of us, we all have someone, or we know someone who has either struggled with substance use disorder or has been affected by addiction. So
Mhm.
many of us have had that, and so I think that's kind of how it all started. It's just strange that it's just from watching his documentary years ago. That's how it all
It all lines up.
started. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing the two stories you did with us, and I'm really sorry that you unfortunately lost individuals to either complications or an overdose.
Mm.
But it's really, really weird how the universe works sometimes.
Yeah.
And,
Strange.
like, things come back around in full circle.
Yeah.
But we're glad you're here now, because you're raising awareness, you're engaging and empowering and inspiring students to live healthy, fulfilling lives, and I think that that's the end goal at the end of the day. We
Yeah.
don't want more additional stories. We don't want more numbers. Um, we want less numbers. This is the one time we want less numbers.
Exactly. Exactly.
So in addition to that, I guess what are some of your goals for the year?
So the reception to the club has been outstanding.
Yay.
We could not be more pleased. And again, I could not have done any of this by myself. So my friend Maura, and my friend Barb Frasco, they both of them have helped me so much, and our administration at our high school has been so supportive. But
That's awesome.
we had our first meeting yesterday.
Great.
We easily have about 50 kids that have joined our Google Classroom.
Wow.
I had kids coming up to me today that want to join, and it's been overwhelming. The response has been overwhelming. So
Fantastic.
our goal this year is, I guess the first year we kind of feel like it's a work in progress, but
Mhm.
this year we're trying to just get established.
Mhm.
We're trying to get a little bit of a structure to what we're going to do each week and each month,
Yeah.
and we have some good ideas in mind about giving back to the communities for our
Great.
service. And we want to plan some big events for Wellness Week in March.
That's awesome.
So we really visualize this as something that we don't just want it to be a club at the high school per se. We want it to be more of a changing of the culture at the
Mhm.
high school, and just strengthening the entire community. So we really want to get businesses involved. We're going to have a few fundraisers where we hopefully do get businesses involved, and we're lucky to be at Haddon Township. It's a small community. It's a tight knit community, and overall, everyone is very supportive of each other, and so I think we will be able to accomplish those goals. So far, it has been amazing. So I feel really fortunate so far.
No, that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
I'm really, really happy that that's the turnout rate, and that there's vision in mind that it's a lot more than just a club. You know what I mean? Like we're changing some of these social norms. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That that we're gonna challenge them. We're challenging the concept of the hustle culture.
Mhm.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, self-care. No,
Yeah,
self-care, you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
And there's so many different things that are feeding teen minds that we just need to squash. We
yeah.
just need to challenge. And I've been susceptible to them myself. Like, I've caught myself being like, "I gotta do X, Y, and Z." No, I don't. I don't
Mhm.
need to do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, it's
Um,
crazy. I mean, believe me, a lot of the things I'm telling them, I certainly can use myself. I have to check myself as well. And
yeah.
especially coming off of, we're not quite through the pandemic, but coming off of a year that we had last year where most of the kids were at home, the kids were just stressed to
Yeah,
the max. So
so needed.
they kind of need this. So last week I took a lot of time in my classes and just spoke about the club in my classes, and they were very receptive to it. They need it, and they
Mhm.
liked hearing about it, and I think it's going to be a very positive thing. That's what we want it to be, just a positive message for the kids.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic though, and that's what
Yeah.
we need, you know what I mean? We need this to be a positive atmosphere. We need
Hmm.
this to be an area where students can be themselves, where they can feel like they can challenge these norms and they're supported for doing so.
Exactly.
And that they have people that they can connect with and that meet on maybe the same common ground as them. That there is this atmosphere where they can be themselves, they can embrace it, and they don't have to use a substance or something to alter themselves. Um,
Right.
and really embrace and, take that motto and run with it.
Yes. Yeah. And I just think I when I talk to the kids, I tell them it's just all part of the growing up process. They're
Mhm,
still trying to figure out who they are, and their confidence level maybe is not where it would be, or it should be, where it will be when they're adults.
mhm.
And so they have all those factors,
Yeah.
uh, lending itself to maybe them making some wrong decisions sometimes in life. So um, we want to present ourselves as an outlet for them, and it's not just myself. It's not just myself and Maura and Barb. There are about 20 teachers that are also part of that Google Classroom. There's a bunch of us that are trying to be role models for our students. So we just want them to feel comfortable to be able to talk to us and each other, and just like Herren Project says, we want to try to break down that stigma of shame and guilt that is associated with addiction,
Mhm.
because it can happen to anybody. And I think the more we talk about it, the better it will be. I mean, it has taken years of talking about anxiety and depression and kind of breaking those stigmas down. And I think if we keep talking about substance use disorder, I think the same thing will happen.
Yeah. No, I agree, and I really love that this isn't like just like another club being brought up. Like, this is like a community effort within the school, within the community surrounding it. Like, it's really like this really big effort, and I really love and I'm really happy that people are latching onto it,
Yeah,
and that's what makes the message go round, literally. Like, that's what makes it go round, because you have people who maybe resonate with it, or maybe they're like, this is what we need in our school, and then people take it and run, and then you have really this huge, like, wide school, like, challenging culture and breaking stigma and, practicing, like, self-care and decision making and empowering and inspiring and all this other great stuff.
yeah,
So, I'm really excited for you guys, and I really
yeah.
hope it's successful.
We are really excited too. Our superintendent is Dr. Fisicaro. He's very excited and he's very supportive about it as well. And I think the community is going to embrace it. So I mean, that's our vision and those are our goals. And I do think in our small community, I don't think we'll have any trouble reaching those goals.
Mhm.
So we're going to kind of work our way through here the first year,
Yeah,
and see how it goes. But we plan to keep it in place forever, indefinitely. So
I love that.
yeah.
That's good stuff. But, definitely keep in contact with us. You
We
know where
will.
we are.
Oh, Jillian, oh my goodness, Jillian. I mean, she probably regrets giving me her email. I feel like I
She
email
does
her
not. She does. I can speak for her right now. She
email her a few
definitely does
times
not.
a week. I email her.
No, but you wanna know what? That's what we're here for. That is what the prevention team is here for. We're here to support
It's
you guys
wonderful.
and continue to inspire and empower you to do the same for students.
And you do.
So
You all have been wonderful. I've not, everyone at Herren Project has been absolutely wonderful all summer long. Anytime I reached out to someone, they've gotten right back to me and they helped me. So you guys are great.
I've been called an email hog, to be honest. Like people are like, "You answer a little bit too fast. You should get an award for it." And I'm like, I'm not opposed.
That's
Um,
okay.
but yeah, so we have you here, and I'll be engaging your youth. I will be contacting you. I'll be like, there's some opportunities here.
No,
Give
we
me
have
your
some great
youth.
ones. We have some great kids. Honestly, we have
I'm
some
so
great
excited
kids.
for
I mean, we were too late to apply for any of those, you know, the ambassador and all that, those things,
That's
but we
okay.
have some great students. So next year
No.
we'll be applying next year.
There's so many opportunities coming up for you guys, and I'm really hope that you guys will be there. And I will be looking forward to some applications in the spring. So
Definitely.
I got my eye on New Jersey.
No worries.
I'm
We'll be
here
there.
for it. Great.
No worries.
Well, thank you so much for sharing
Thank you.
your
Thank you for
story.
having me. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing with us tonight, and we will definitely bring you back on, and we'll keep updated
Okay.
on how it's going for you guys.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
And we're excited for it.
Thank you
Um,
so much.
yeah, so thank you again for joining us tonight.
Okay. Thanks, Izzy.
Yeah, bye.
Bye.
I love talking to people from schools and club advisors, like, and students. Like, I think it's so empowering because sometimes working at a national level, you sometimes may not always see the impact you're making. And individual impact and large scale impact are really important. And when you have moments like those, that's where you really get to see the kind of work that you're doing, and it's really rewarding. And I hope the rest of the individuals at Herren Project also feel the same way. I love moments like those. But again, without further ado, we have our next amazing guest, Mike Roderick and his team. Hi guys.
Hello.
How are you all?
Hi. Doing well. How are you?
I'm thriving. I am thriving. So thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
Excited to
us.
be here.
Yeah, would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Sure.
So I'm Mike Roderick, Courtney Roderick's dad.
Mike Jr., Courtney's brother.
Kristen Bossy, Courtney's sister.
And I'm Mackenzie Roderick. I'm Courtney's sister.
Great. Thank you. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. So I think it's about a month ago at this point, maybe. You guys put on a 5K, and I believe it's an annual 5K. And I ran in it, and so did Trisha, and so did someone else from Herren Project, Rebecca. And I came in at 45 minutes, but that's not the point. But I would love for you guys to talk to us more about this annual race you have, the story behind it, all that good stuff.
Okay. So Courtney overdosed on the 8th of October in 2018. I mean, in 2016. And, we just, we kind of put our heads together and thought about, how we can bring something positive from her overdosing, from her passing. And did a little research. Google provides you a lot of places, to search and find information. And we decided we were going to attempt to start to do a run, to do the 5K run. And we got a committee together, families and relatives. And I think we had our first meeting in 2017. Shortly thereafter, we made it a 501c3, which is a big deal. It brings credence to the organization. And then we had the first run in 2018, and we've been having them every year since then. We started out. We've been donating the money to different organizations every run. The first one was Eastman House, Then we did Crossroads in Rhode Island. We did Trinity Village, and this year the money went to Starbirth, and they were Starbirth. Courtney was in that recovery center. She almost made a year. But the growth of it has been amazing. We lost a year because
Still have the virtual run.
we had the virtual run, but it really has grown. And I think my biggest takeaway, and my kids they'll add whatever I'm omitted, but it's really I think this past run, I believe it really cemented us as an organization. It's a community thing. The community was out there. They're really involved in it. We got a lot of runners out there, and we raised a lot of money. We wrote a check for $12,000 to Starbirth, which it's been a grassroots movement. There's a Christian song, and I was trying to think of it before we came. I didn't want to Google it to take up the bandwidth, but it's about doing you know, and I think the prior guest mentioned that you start out with small chunks, just little teeny things. And when you do little teeny things, eventually it really does snowball and becomes bigger and bigger. And I can see it happening with us. It really has done that, and it really touches my heart to see everyone. Every year we have it, I see everyone out there. I like to greet everyone. I like to talk to people. I like to see everyone, and it really touches my heart to see the support for doing something like this. And I'll just say one more thing. I don't want to, I want my kids to talk, but drug addiction is what I don't like. When you compare drug addiction, alcohol addiction is still glorified. It's still okay, in this country. We have commercials, but drug addiction is stigmatized. It really is. People look at it like it's dirty, and we have a long ways to go. And I like to thank our organization. It's a Courtney Roderick Run for Recovery Foundation. We get the sign right here. We're doing great things. And so I want my kids to give their take on things and what they think about what we're doing. Mike, go ahead.
All good work, please.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I think my dad touched a lot of the story. So, I agree with all the points. And I'll add some. It was great having the Herren Project out there this year and kind of touching on that. My mom, so kind of tying in the story too. We lost our mother in March of this year to pancreatic cancer. So that's been hard, but she used to teach at Penfield School in Portsmouth, and Chris Herren used to, he might still, but he did basketball practices there, and that's where my mom met him, and she was really inspired by his story and really wanted to try to get him to connect with Courtney. So we reached out this year, and it was great to have you guys there, and just hope to build off that for sure.
Yeah, of course, here for it.
I agree. I agree with what we're doing, where we've been, where we're going. I'm very passionate and glad to be a part of the work that we're doing, and I just feel that we're on track and giving back, and it's just a very exciting time. I think my dad and my brother covered a lot of the same points.
It's always rewarding giving the check too. We can see most of the places we give it to, money's really tight.
Yeah.
So when we went last week, it was really, or not too long ago, it was just really rewarding to see how it's always very impactful, and they don't have a lot to work with, so it's a windfall. It's really powerful.
Goes a long way.
It does go a long way.
Yeah,
So,
she was
excited to keep doing it.
what's your name, Diane? From
She
Starbirth.
was
She
in
had
tears. Yeah.
tears and eyes. So like Kenzie said, it's very rewarding to give that check, and they usually have us back and show us how far they made $12,000 go, which they can make it go a long ways and do a lot of things with it.
That's great.
Yeah. So I just want, this is our sign. we're here, and we have a website, Courtney Roderick Run for Recovery. People can check Courtney Roderick Run for
5K,
Recovery, right? 5K.
Courtney Roderick 5K.com.
Yeah, we have all the pictures from the run, and we've really come a long ways. I mean, I like to think we're really professional now. We have our own. We have the truck from our business that moves all the stuff now.
All that.
This we had race wire that timed it, which was a big deal.
So you can really see from the first year. It's just gonna get bigger.
Yeah, we're like a professional 501c3. That's what
I love that for you guys. I love that. But I want to say thank you for sharing Courtney's story, but also thank you for allowing us to support you and continue to run in her memory. I will have you know that that was my first 5K. And I'm very, very blessed that my first 5K was in honor of Courtney, and as a representative of Herren Project. And I heard all of the money that you guys raised and that was donated, and I'm really happy that there's something like this that's making movement and that's raising awareness and that is educating the community and really starting to talk about this. Because like I was telling Rose, we do not want more numbers. We don't want any numbers when it comes to drug overdose and addiction. And you guys really are doing the work. And you're out there and you're on the ground and you're doing it and you're making a difference, and it's a positive difference, which is what you guys were out to do.
Thank you.
And next year is going to actually be on Courtney's birthday for the 5th year. So that's going to be exciting.
We have the date. We chose the date, the Saturday closest to her birthday. So, but next year, like Kenzie said, it'll be on the 23rd.
That's awesome. We'll be there. We'll be there and we will be supporting.
Thank you so much.
I like to say
I will be in better running gear.
Courtney's doing more from heaven than she was able to do on earth. That's what I like to say.
And that's okay. And that's great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because she's still here with us.
Yeah.
But again, if anyone in the audience would like to donate, would like to see how they can get involved, see how they can support the organization, you can go to www.courtneyroderick5k.com. And you can help run next year if they have volunteer opportunities, and supporting them and a new nonprofit is what we need these days, because we're all here at the end of the day trying to do the same thing, and that is to prevent overdose and addiction and substance use, and continue to empower people to live healthy, fulfilling lives. And we have so many amazing individuals like presented tonight, and we have this amazing team here who's doing that, who we're all out to do the same thing. And if we all come together and we donate and we help and support each other, we can really, really make a big change. So anything else you guys want to share?
No.
I mean, another cool story is our committee is mostly all family, but someone that was in our first walk and run joined our committee. So that was pretty cool to see our committee's growing. We meet every month, and him and his wife were both impacted by addiction, and so that's powerful. But just to keep seeing it growing, and it's keeps our family connected too, because we meet every month. So it's just a really powerful and positive thing that we do.
I love that.
Yeah, we had over 170 people out there. I'm confident we're going to have over 200. Next year, 250.
Manifest it. You are.
Yeah.
Not that we are confident, as you are. You're gonna have over 200 people. Because I think the moments where you see the numbers rise and you look back and you're like, wow, this is where we were, this is where we're going, and then this is where we've been.
Exactly.
It's so awesome to see the growth. And you're like, wow, just 4 years ago we had say, for example, 20 people at the race.
Yeah.
Now we're at 170 and we have a growing committee, and now we're a 501 C3.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. Those are the things that I think keep us going at the end of the day.
Definitely.
So congratulations on becoming an official nonprofit. Congratulations on the amount of money that you raised. And congratulations on where you have been, where you're going, and that you're continuing to keep Courtney's memory alive. And I also wanted to say, I'm sorry about your mother's loss. No, you're not. The loss of your mother. I just butchered that. She's also with us in memory. And And if we can keep these memories alive, we'll have memories and stories for decades. So
For
yeah,
sure.
Thank
All
you.
right.
thank you so much again, guys, and we
All right,
will
thanks a
definitely
lot.
be in touch.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
So, as everyone can tell, we have absolutely, I said this last week and I'm going to say it again because I think it's so necessary. We have amazing people in the community surrounding us across the country who are just doing amazing things. And I love to put a light on individual impact because I felt like lately individual impact has been undermined. And individual impact does a lot because at the end of the day, the one thing that we're doing could be the one thing that's keeping someone on this earth. So if you are looking to get up and, do something and you're like, sometimes it's the smallest things that matter. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be grand. Sometimes it's the small things in life that keep us here together, making memories on this earth. So thank you for joining us tonight. We hope you really, really enjoyed these interviews that we had tonight. They're absolutely inspiring people. And let's support one another and keep it going. So thank you, everyone. We will catch you next week. Bye.